Welcome. I am Terry Luongo, and I am a marketing director for the Juice Plus company, and I want to welcome you to our monthly Monday night friends and family call. Tonight, you're going to hear two amazing stories from two really amazing, spectacular people who have had life transformation. And what brings us together as a community is the Juice Plus company, the Juice Plus products, and the Juice Plus programs. I personally have been engaged and consuming Juice Plus now for 27 years. I've not missed a day in 27 years. So why would I be committed to taking a product, being part of a program for 27 years? Well, what I'd like to do right now is I'd like to show you a couple images that will help you understand the power of what we have and who we are. All right, Juice Plus. Juice Plus is absolutely the most unique product on the market today. Again, it's something I have been consuming for 27 years. Imagine this company found a way to grow fruits, vegetables, and berries, to kind of juice them, pulverize them, dry a powder, put it into capsules, and not lose the nutrition. And also take that powder and put them into soft chews for children. And the benefits are unbelievable. It's a product that's backed by science. It is a food. This is actually food. It comes in a capsule, but it is food. It has a food label. It's made with non-GMO ingredients. It's vegan, it's kosher, and it is dairy-free. And it's also backed by NSF certification. Basically, what NSF certification says, that what's on the label is actually what's in the product. And Juice Plus is by far the most researched product in the world. So I started consuming Juice Plus 27 years ago. My background is in the fitness industry. And even though I worked out every day, I had become a malnourished, inflamed fitness professional. And it was 27 years ago that a nurse who lived in my neighborhood knocked on my door and told me that she felt she had found something that could help me put the fire out. Because that fire was translated into a litany of different autoimmune conditions, everything from fibromyalgia to what later was diagnosed as Crohn's disease. And so I started consuming Juice Plus. There was something about the message of kale, broccoli, beets, cabbage, and spinach that made sense. And maybe, just maybe, something good might happen to my health. And over time, this concentrated nutrition started to feed my cells, tissues, organs, and systems. And my health started to improve, and I have never looked back. And just like our Juice Plus fruits, vegetables, and berries is absolutely unique, so is our Omega. We have an Omega product that gives you broad spectrum omegas from like pomegranate seed oil and sea buckthorn berry oil, but we did something unique. You know, we knew that omegas come from the ocean. We knew that fish is polluted. So how could we get you the benefits of an omega? Well, what we did was we bypassed the middleman. We bypassed the fish, and we are delivering to you and harvesting our own algae. So our omegas, again, just like our fruits and vegetables, are something that everybody needs, and people are benefiting from our omegas in a big way. Our next product is called our Complete. Again, our Complete is a protein drink. It is so part of a program that you're going to hear tonight called our Shred program. Again, it's plants. When you consume the fruits, vegetables, and berries and the complete, you're consuming like 52 different foods every single day. And then lastly, but not least, let me tell you, is our Tower Garden. Imagine the possibility of you growing your own food in your backyard, on your patio, with water and nutrition and sunshine, and growing the most beautiful, dense produce that tastes spectacular. Absolutely, our product line is state of the art, and it is absolutely changing health all over the world. And so tonight, I'm going to bring to you two amazing people who have amazing stories of transformation, stories of hope. And I know that they're going to connect with you in a big way. So first, I'd love to introduce to you Jen Grubb, a personal friend. Jen is a mom, a wife, an educator, an athlete. She knows firsthand what it means to go from surviving, thriving, flourishing, and having just amazing health and quality of life. Jen, if you want to unmute yourself and share your story, would love to welcome you.
Thank you so much, Terry. What an honor to be here with all of you tonight. I'm so excited. And yes, I'm a mom of 4, which is why I'm hiding in my bedroom, so that, and really told all the children to stay out there and to not bother me, and just be glad nobody's changing. And I have 2 7-year-olds that just hopped out of my shower. I was like, hey guys, you need to get out of the room. Nobody needs to see that back here. But I'm just grateful for what Terry shared with you, because I had no idea I didn't even know Juice Plus even existed till I was an adult. And some of you who are sitting here and maybe have never heard of it before, that was me, an adult life where my whole life growing up, I was a picky eater, and I had, parents telling me to eat my fruits and vegetables. I had gone to doctors before, right, for checkups, but no one told me why. No one ever kind of got down deep and said, exactly why. Well, then I had 4 children. I met my husband. Terry's right. I did play Division I college soccer. I am an athlete, and I was drinking Diet Cokes and eating pizzas and doing all those things, which I'm sure a lot of kids, still do nowadays. But my sweet mom had no clue. Nobody ever took the time to tell her. No one was knocking on her door telling her, I've got something that could possibly help you guys. And with that came chronic migraines growing up, cold sores in my mouth, things like that. Nothing really major. But what it turned me into was teaching my children how to be picky eaters, especially my older 2. When I got introduced to Juice Plus, I was pregnant with twins. And my pediatrician actually had recommended it to my best friend, Jamie. And she quickly was like, have you heard of this? Because that's what we do, right? As friends, we share things. We try to that's why some of you are here, because a friend actually shared something with you. And then you go and you do your research, which is what you're doing right now. So I started to do my research, and I started to say, oh my gosh, of course we need this. It's fruits and vegetables. And you know what? My kids need it first. Because once again, I was so used to putting myself last. And so I quickly got the gummies for my children. I forgot about myself because I told Jamie I was on a prenatal vitamin and that's all I needed. Oh my, was that a big mistake? Probably my first regret, because as the pregnancy went on, I didn't have massive complications, but being a mom pregnant with twins that were spontaneous, that was not planned whatsoever, having one placenta, identical as can be, there were things where I wish I would have, things that I know now, I wish I would have known then. And that's kind of the theme of what I'm going to tell you tonight, right? You can't unknow what you already know. You can't unsee what you've already seen. That's just what life is. And nobody had told me. So I had no clue until Jamie came along, and I had the twins, and, life moved on. Well, what I didn't realize was putting myself last for so many years and not taking care of myself really compounded itself. And in 2014, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I found it myself with no family history, no BRCA gene, really no reason for me, except for the fact that I felt something funny on my left breast. It was a 12-centimeter mass that went across. It was like a piece of fajita meat, if you would, is what how the doctor described it. And it was right across the top. It was at the time, it was a non-invasive ductal carcinoma. When I had the double mastectomy and they biopsied both sides, it was actually an invasive ductal carcinoma. There were 9 invasive tumor cells within this mass. And basically, because of this surgery, my life was saved. But what I didn't even realize at the time was that Juice Plus was sitting on my counter going into my children's bodies, and I had something really, really valuable in my home already. And I quickly went back to Jamie, who introduced me to Terry, and here I am. I'm here to tell you that Juice Plus, after chemo, radiation, and surgeries, was probably the best thing that I've added to my life, because you're not hungry in those moments. You don't want, to eat necessarily. And I'm a busy mom of 4. I don't have a lot of time for it. I was tired, right? I was needing to sleep and rest and recover. And so having a plant-based smoothie that Terry just showed you, having capsules to take, plants, I mean, talk about an added bonus to the recovery process. Do you see all this long, thick, curly hair? Well, I lost it all very slowly. Yeah, I know Dave's jealous of my hair. Don't be jealous, Dave. But I lost it. But you know what? It thinned. It didn't fall out in clumps. The nurses would tell me it's going to be all over your pillow. Like you're going to have a patch that falls out on your pillow. Well, every morning I literally would raise my head. I would turn around and I was just waiting for it because I had small children and I was wanting them to be prepared and I wanted to kind of get ahead of it. Well, nothing was on the pillow. What started to happen, it was just kind of slowly falling out very gradually all over the house. And so I had my hairdresser cut it short and she's like, when do we shave it? I mean, this was everything they told me that would normally happen with a normal person was not happening. So here I am 6 years later, and I'm in remission. I'm cancer free, and I'm so forever grateful for this education. Like what Terry just shared with you are the things that I didn't know. And now that I know it, I had to join this business. I had said to my husband, I have to tell everybody about this. I can't unknow what I know now. And why would I keep it to myself? Why would I keep it to myself? And I knew my mom needed it. I knew my sister-in-law, my niece. I mean, next thing you know, I was picking up the phone, sharing something that was so valuable. Because at the time, it's like, what just happened, right? Your mind is trying to process things. And subconsciously, we look for, signs, right? We're looking for signs to try to understand what just happened. Well, guess what, guys? Sometimes tragedy happens and you'll never know what just happened. You'll never know why. That's just life. And that was my mind trying to process. So I started to realize, okay, this is not an excuse to not do the business because I'm busy and, I have a wife and a mom and I have cancer. This is my reason for saying yes to this business. It's not an excuse. I had every excuse in the book to tell Jamie no, to tell Terry no. I don't have time for this. It was my reason to pay for my own product, to pay medical bills. It was my reason because when you look back on your life, my life will never be the same. It's not going to be the same because something tragic happened to me. And so now my outlook on life is very different. Because of cancer, my outlook on life is focused on who can I help next? Who can I serve? How can I do this? It will never be the same. And like I said before, I couldn't unsee the things that I already saw in regards to beets fighting cancer, broccoli fighting cancer, the things that I started to learn, I couldn't unknow that, right? So I'm different now and I see the world differently now. And so I will end with this. Why do I tell you that? Well, now that you know, what will you do with it? You can't unknow this information about scientifically proven, research. And what Dave's about to tell you, you won't be able to, not want to take action, whether it's for your health or for your family's health or for your neighbor's health. So thank you, Terry. I'm so honored to share my story because it's because of people like you who said yes years and years ago. It's because of the nurse that knocked on your door. That's why I'm sitting here right now in remission with a business that has forever changed our life financially. It has given us hope for the future. So thank you.
Wow. Jen Grubb, I would say that you wake up every morning to passion and purpose, and you are a blessing to so many people. Thank you. Thanks for being with us tonight. We appreciate you so much. And talk about passion and purpose. Our next speaker, David Henderson. Oh my goodness, let me tell you a little bit about him. All right, he's a husband, he's a dad, he is a certified health coach, the Institute of Integrated Nutrition, guys. That is like 5-star certification. He is a personal trainer. Let me see, what else could he be? Oh, he takes care of you physically, spiritually, and emotionally. He's also a pastor. So with all this going on, all right, David Henderson wakes up every morning to passion and purpose, and I can't wait for you to hear his story. Welcome to the call, David.
Hey, thank you so much for having me. Yeah, hi everybody. It's really, I draw my energy from this kind of a setting. So thank you for being here. My story almost picks up right where Jen's finished, because it was around the end of the story she was telling you when we met. And I had never heard of Juice Plus or anything like that. I was about 50, almost 60 pounds heavier than I am now. And that was all very unhealthy weight. I had, when I grew up, I actually paid zero attention to anything I ate, and had metabolism like a champ. And therefore, without any training or thought, never felt the need to pay attention to what I was eating, which, like many of us, was true. And then we became adults and the magic of metabolism disappeared. And all of a sudden I had children, and my wife put on birth weight, and I, being the loving husband that I am, I put on sympathy weight. You know, she craves Hot Pockets. You know what? Make that too. I'll eat with you, honey. You know, I'm not going to leave her alone. So, oh, and Hot Pockets. Just, if you don't leave tonight with anything else, let's just not do Hot Pockets, okay? Anyway, sorry, cider ale. Anyway, it was after that point that, without any training or thought about what I had been eating before, that then I hopped on to this roller coaster of trying to find some diet that would work, right? And I remember early on, I had heard about my parents doing some diet that was like only bananas and milk. Okay, we'll hop on that. And that lasted like a day. Let's not do that. Then you gain more weight. And then it was just like, okay, don't eat, which actually doesn't work very well at all. And I remember then I used to be a firefighter. And while I was a firefighter, someone approached me with a keto diet. And so it took my body into a state of ketosis, which is actually extremely dangerous. I don't recommend that at all, except for some very specific purposes. If you have some health related issues that we can talk about offline. Of course, it didn't work for me. In the middle of all of that, I found out that I actually had a disease called ulcerative colitis. So it's an inflammatory disease of the colon, and that story ends and begins a new story, but it ends with me in the hospital about to lose my large intestine. And in order to prevent that, getting onto some really, really powerful medications. And now that now that Jen's talked about all of her beautiful hair, I get to talk about the moment I lost all of mine, right? So that's the moment when my hair starts thinning out and things like that. And for men who age, the hair doesn't come back. So I'm stuck with this shiny head on Zoom calls for the rest of my life. So anyway, I developed this disease. I'm still very overweight, although I go into the hospital and I immediately lost about 30 pounds because I actually didn't have the capacity to eat. My diet was Jell-O and Gatorade. And in the middle of all of this and getting on medication, I was like to my doctor, you know, what can I eat? It feels like everything makes me sick. And when you have ulcerative colitis, which is kind of related to Crohn's disease, I think Crohn's disease is actually worse. Basically anything you eat can set you off, and especially vegetables, and cruciferous vegetables, green leafy vegetables, the stuff that you think instinctively that you probably need are the things that will just make you so ill. So I go to my doctor, you know, what's the advice here? What do I do? And he's like, oh yeah, well, just don't eat those things. Stay away from those things. Eat the classic American diet, right? So greasy cheeseburger, load it up. You can eat a baked potato with everything in it. Just make sure you leave off the chives and don't eat the outside, don't eat the peel of the potato, right? French fries, totally your friend. So anyway, what do you think happened? I mean, you already know, right? First of all, I didn't feel better, and I got a lot sicker all the time, and I got more overweight. So I had strep throat 1 year, I think 6 times in a year. So I have 3 children who were all in elementary school. And of course, they're just petri dishes coming home, and I'm getting whatever they have because my immune system has been not only compromised by my disease, but what the medications are doing in order to combat the disease is destroying my immune system. So anyway, one day I decide I've had enough. I don't want any of the medication, and I've got to find a new way to live. And enter Jen Grubb into my life, where we are talking, and I think it's like a Christmas party, Jen, or Friendsgiving or something. And I'm just like, I need to know whatever you're doing. I'm going to try it. And she was working out at Camp Gladiator. So I went to Camp Gladiator with her one day, and another friend of ours actually was going to go, and that's what got me to go, and he didn't show up. So my wife and I did, and we stuck to it. And Camp Gladiator was having a thing that they call CG Fit. And I was like, oh, maybe I can do that. And Jen was like, hey, why don't we talk? And we talked about Juice Plus, and we talked about the Shred. Shred is a combination of Juice Plus and the complete shakes that Terry showed earlier, as well as a really helpful step into a new lifestyle, where you're crowding out some really unhealthy things and moving in some really healthy stuff. And that's where we started. And for me, what it was after this roller coaster of being on whatever diet, I walked into this thinking, okay, this is the next quirky kind of diet. I'll just hop on this one and see, maybe this one will stick. What I didn't realize is that what I was stepping into was what instinctively seemed right to me all along, which was, oh, these are whole foods, these are fruits, and these are vegetables. And these are, and berries, and these are the things that make sense to me. These things are going to make me really sick, right? Ulcerative colitis, only to find out these things actually enter my body via a totally different delivery system. And what began to happen was not only was I getting the nutrients that I needed, but I was actually able to get them into my body without them killing my digestive system. And now that I had the nutrients, guess what else my body could do? It could heal itself. And I'm now on this side of it. I'm a huge believer that given half a chance, the body will do amazing things. You just have to give it that chance. And so begin over time, all of a sudden, I realized after a couple of weeks, I don't feel sick anymore. let's hook up some more of these fruits and vegetables. So we start cramming some more things into my smoothie, right? So I've got this weird thing that I'd never really heard of before. It's called kale. And I start sticking that in my cup. And the next thing I know, there's like kale and avocado and then a bunch of fruits and stuff to sweeten it up. And then the next thing I know is people are making fun of me because I've got the nastiest sounding smoothie you've ever heard of, because it's got like kale and spinach and avocados and of course the complete stuff. And I've got like spirulina and blue-green algae and all this stuff that before would have made me so ill, and now I'm so addicted to because it's giving me energy and it's giving me life like I never had before. And in the afternoons when I used to just go and like, okay, the only thing that's going to possibly keep me going is another venti coffee, right? I hadn't had coffee in weeks and I didn't realize it, right? And I'm hydrated, and my skin, my wife came up to me and was like, your eyelashes are longer than mine. And I was like, I can't say that I super care about that, but neat. But to me, what I did care about was I've always had, I can't show you because it's not there. Since my first year in college, something that had actually been a part of my immune reaction, I didn't realize it, was I had what looked like razor burn all down my neck. And I'll have to show you a series of pictures from back then. But I had razor burn on my neck for years and years and years and years and years. And it's just, I don't know if you can you see my neck? Did you want to see my neck? It's gone. Totally cleared up. Amelia's like, no, I did not. But I can't tell you how comforting it is to have skin that's completely cleared up anymore, right? And while the hair on my head is never going to grow back again in its prior beauty, my skin is clear. I don't have brain fog anymore. What we're talking about with all of that all put together is I've removed inflammation from my life. And I guarantee you that 99% of whatever it is you're dealing with in your life, whether it's I can't sleep, I have soreness all the time, chronic fatigue, brain fog in the afternoon, whatever it is, skin blemishes, right? And all the things that you're going to go and you're going to try and take a pill for, or you're going to try and put on the outside of your body, right? To deal with skin issues. That's what we do. We put things on the outside of our body. Your skin's dead when it hits the air. There's not much more you can do about it other than kind of cover it up and try to moisten it, I guess. All of that happens on the inside of your body, right? And that's where Juice Plus came in for me, is all of a sudden my body had life in it because I was feeding it the stuff of life. And I was stepping into what instinctively I knew to be right. And it's what you grew up with. You know that you should eat your fruits and vegetables. And you've known this all along. What you might not have realized is you can actually use that to build your body and to build your life and to make life amazing. Anyway, so now you look at me and I am 50 or 60 pounds lighter. I'm a personal trainer. I'm a health coach. I've kind of adopted this entire lifestyle. I just found out. So a year ago, I couldn't run a mile without just probably passing out. I just found out like 5 minutes ago that I qualified for the finals in CG Games. So I am a CG Games finalist, which is insane. It's just absolutely insane to think how far I've come. And so like you can tell from me, for me, the important thing is I tested the product hard, right? And what I encourage everyone to do when you get a hold of this product, what I encourage you to do is put it to the test. And what I mean by that is start taking it, start getting engaged with it, and then go start running or walking. Start challenging your body and see what you're actually capable of. And what you'll find yourself is just excelling beyond what you thought you would have been capable of before. And then you won't be able to help it, right? As soon as you get this applied to yourself, and this is my biggest advice for even distributors, right? If you're not living the story, you're not going to be able to share the story. But once you do live the story, you're not going to be able to help but share the story. It's naturally what you're going to want to tell everybody about. It's like when you met Jesus for the first time. You know what I'm saying? It's just what you're going to share. I'm a pastor. It's what I'm going to talk about. Jesus, you knew that. So anyway, that's me. That's my story. I can't be more thankful to this family. And of course, highlighting Jen Grubb, who I love so much. And she's an inspiration and has been so much of a help to me. My whole family is on product, and we're just not sick anymore. And it just feels amazing. So thanks for having me, Terry.
Oh, David Henderson. Oh my goodness. You just light up. You light up the room. You just infuse everybody with an excitement. What did you say? Live the story. Live the story. And what you represent is so life-giving. And guys, everything that's happened to Jen and to myself and David, it's backed by science. It's backed by science. This is the most researched product on the planet, of 40 pieces of published research. You know, and the reason that it's life-giving is that, number one, it's bioavailable. It gets to your cells. It supports immune health. It helps protect DNA. It turns on healthy genes. It reduces oxidative stress. It supports heart health. You know, healthy skin. David said it comes from within. You know, beautiful skin, good hair, you know, nails, healthy teeth, healthy gums, starts from within. And then how David said it so brilliantly, you know, it helps to reduce systemic inflammation. I don't know what that's going to look like in you, but if you're reducing systemic inflammation, good things are going to happen. You know, it's helped to support and give nutrition to cancer survivors. You know, it's helped the metabolism of overweight boys and support lung health and smokers, and the list goes on and on and on. And, you know, Richard Du Bois, medical doctor, said it best. It's not that fruits and vegetables are good for you. It's that they are so good for you, they can save your health. So for all of you, thanks for being here tonight. Join us. Live the story. Live the story. Thank you, Jen Grubb. Thank you, David Henderson. If you want to unmute yourself and show these two amazing people how much we appreciate them, please do so right now. And if you want to see this again, it's going to be in Transform 2020. Thanks for being with us tonight. David, Jen, thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you
guys.
both.
That was
It was
wonderful.
fabulous.
I love you, Jen Grubb.
Peace and blessings, everyone.